I'm going to talk about a new way that you're going to be able to prioritize stuff in SOFA 3.0. So let's get into it. Now, once you have more than a few lists, or maybe a lot of lists, I have quite a few, and you have a lot of things in there, when you go back to revisit, say you're looking for something to watch, if you have a lot of lists, it can be kind of tedious to figure out, what do I want to watch? Or, maybe you're doing some planning for what you want to watch this upcoming weekend or in the future, that kind of thing. And there's really no good way to do this today. You just kind of have to remember or go through your list all the time. So this is going to be a new way you can do this, and it's called the shelf. So let's say that I want to look for some movies that I want to watch potentially, right? So I'm going to go through this. Now what you'll be able to do is if you tap on the More button here, you'll see a new button saying Put on the Shelf. If I tap on that, I now get this up there on the shelf. Works very similar to pinning, right? And what I can do is I can do this with as many things as I want, right? So I can say Put on the Shelf. That goes up there. Perfect. So now I have these two things on the shelf, and that's great. Now, what's cool is if I go back, you'll notice here in the bottom left, there's a little shelf there. And if I tap on that, I can see those items that I've added to the shelf. So it's kind of like this smart list that's looking for all the things that you've put on the shelf throughout all of your list and kind of aggregating them together, which can be really helpful because if I go back to some of these lists and say I want to look at something here, let's say I want to add, oh no, not a sticky note. I want to put that on the shelf, right? I want to do maybe some animation, that kind of thing, right? I want to put that on the shelf. So what's nice, again, you can see all of these things. These are, it'll show you which list this is from, which group this is in. And then you get all the same options. You can add notes to this. You can see the details for each of these things here. No big deal. But again, what's really cool is this works across all of your lists. So any list you have, so you can have books in here as well. So if I do this, put on the shelf, right, and I go back here, it's like, boom, there it is. Really nice. Now, if you end up putting a lot of things on the shelf, so if I go back to, what was it, drama. Let's add a couple more things here. Put on the shelf. Put on the shelf. And we'll do one more. Put on the shelf. Okay. Now what's nice is this just grows. So you can put as many things on the shelf as you want, and this will just kind of adapt to that. And then again, you can tap on these things, see the details. If you long press on it, you get all the same actions as you get as it's, if it's in the regular flow of the list. And you can just remove it too if you don't want it there. So, and it just goes away. And then again, all this stuff is just here on the shelf. Now the whole reason I did this is because I was getting a lot of feedback, people asking to essentially manually reorder things in their list to drag and drop and create any order they want. And when I dug deeper on that and asking like, well, what problem are you trying to solve? What are you trying to do here? It really came down to prioritize, and that's prioritization. And they're really trying to prioritize the things that they have so they can figure out like, well, what book do I want to read next, or what movie do I want to watch, or what things do I want to at least keep top of mind. And when you think about it, this is actually a much more efficient way to do that instead of manually reordering stuff all the time, which can actually be really tedious, and you don't get the ability to see all of that across all of your list at once. So that's the shelf. It's coming to SOFA 3.0. This will be a super feature, so a pro feature. But I'm excited about this one. I think this is going to be really useful, and let me know what you think. Bye.